Hello everyone and welcome to another high-low game of Age of Empires. Today we're wishing all of the Age of Empires dads out there a happy Father's Day. Hopefully your little villagers and your town centers are doing well and you have a few free minutes to sit down and watch Mr. Yo playing as the Georgians in red take on Hera playing as the Mongols in blue. Now all the players heard their herdables explore their very interesting surroundings. This is the first time I am in fact casting Mountain Dunes and try to get their butts up to Castle Age because we're in Empire Wars mode today. Why don't we take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today. Now, the Georgians are a powerful cavalry civilization with a few pretty cool economic features. To start with, all of their mounted units automatically regenerate HP and can be upgraded to take up 15% less population space, both of which helps them mass their unique unit, the Manaspa. This is a heavy armored cavalry, I should say, unit whose attack actually increases when there are other Manaspas or Nightline units in the vicinity. Now, once the fighting starts, very important for the Georgians to take the high ground, which in this game, on this map, I don't even know how to begin to describe this map. It looks like the face of that dog. What breed am I thinking of? The Sharpei, right? That's what this place looks like. And so a lot of high ground, very important for the Georgians to take that, because instead of the usual 25% less damage that you take when you fight downhill, they take 40% less damage. So very important for them, like the Tatars, for example, to take the high ground. Now, economically, the Georgians do start the game with a free mule cart. Their fortified churches increase the productivity of any nearby villagers by 10%, and they can be quite hard to raid because they do pay 25% less for repairing their buildings. They can upgrade their defensive structures, which includes their town center, to get a +2 attack, and they can upgrade their towers to deal pass-through damage. Now, pivoting to the south, we've got Hera playing as the Mongols, a fast cavalry-centric civilization. Their scout line units come with extra line of sight. Their cav archers fire faster. Some of their mounted units get progressively more HP as the game goes on. And their unique unit is the Mangadai, the fast-firing, siege-sniping mounted archer we all know and love. Now, to keep up with their cavalry, the Mongols can actually upgrade their siege units to move 50% faster, which is adorable and makes them look like little bumper cars. Mr. Yo already going after a few villagers here. Economically, Mongol hunters do work faster than normal, and their houses, of all things, can be upgraded so that they don't lose population space if they get destroyed. Those are the two civilizations as they kind of begin circling one another. Let's take a look at the map, because we find ourselves for the first time on this channel on Mountain Dunes. Looks like everyone starts on a bit of a lost world plateau, surrounded by lush forests. Not a lot of resources up top, but take a look at the left and take a look at the right side of the map. Lots and lots of stone, by the way, on cracked terrain. If you're not familiar with how this works, any structure built on cracked terrain whose center point touches cracked terrain, whenever you attack that building, it takes 20% more damage. So basically, town centers, mining camps built around here to gather this stone or this stone, they are literally built on shaky ground and can very easily be dislodged. There's also, by the way, lots and lots of small patches of gold throughout the map. In fact, Capture Age has a new cool feature. Let's take a look. 34,000, so about 6,000 more gold than usual. Oh, never mind, we've got ourselves a scuffle here. First blood being drawn by our Georgian, but Hera, of course, immediately replies 1 kill apiece. 34,500 gold. So about, like I said, 6,000 more gold than your standard Arabia map. About 5,000 more stone. A decent amount of wood, not a lot, and a decent amount of food as well. So we'll see at the end of the game if I remember to do so. I'm always curious on maps like this, which naturally you think would be more to the benefit of the Armenians and the Georgians who have the mobile mining camp and lumber camp, otherwise known as the donkey cart. You'd think they would be in a lot better position on a map like this. So we'll see at the end of the day how many donkey carts there are to the mining camps and lumber camps of the Mongol, who is currently circling the southern perimeter of Mr. Yo's base. But Mr. Yo, okay. He's carved himself quite a chunk of the map. I would say this looks like a good 1/6 of the map, whereas Hera has gone for a very cool looking, but much smaller hilltop enclave here. As he moves forward, now he's moving back. Mr. Yo is chasing this one spearman. Oh, Hera thinks he's getting the high ground here against one scout. No, 5 scouts is how much power you're facing here. Spearman, of course, dies immediately. But Hera and Mysterio are both in Castle Age. Both are getting cavalry upgrades. It looks like our Georgian going for light cav. And I believe I just saw husbandry. Yes, I did. Look at the movement speed of the scout. 1.7 tiles per second. Husbandry already gotten for our Mongol as well. So he is going cav archers, going up to 11 at a +2. No armor at the moment. And let's see how many fortified churches our Georgian is building. Just 2 at the moment. Remember, any unit, any villager within an 8-tile radius, and don't be fooled by this squircle here. This is the attack radius of 6 tiles. So add 2 more in each direction, and any villager in this kind of giant box, 10% more productive, faster, basically. Okay, Hera again evens up the kill count. Mysterio is now circling the southern perimeter. Rather, northern perimeter, my bad. The southern part of the map, the northern perimeter. Mysterio got a conversion here. But the traitor has been dealt with, and now Hera is free to go back into attacking this half-built house from the low ground. Okay, so remember, Georgian structures on the high ground do take 40% less damage on a unit that attacks on an 8. That is a significant amount less damage. Uh-oh, will he try to get the monk? Will he try to get the monk? He's going after him. He gets him. That's what happens when you get the faster firing cav archers of the Mongol together with ballistics and now thumb ring as well. So with thumb ring, I believe their attack speed will get lowered from 1.6 to 1.4, which makes them ridiculously fast firing. And he's luring Mysterio's monk again. And he gets another one. Oh, but he loses another cav archer conversion. Already shenanigans here in the southeast of Mysterio's base, who might lose another monk. Oh my goodness. These units are supposed to be taking 40% less damage. Doesn't really seem like that, does it? House is down. All that stands between the Mongol horde is 100 HP on this super duper weak palisade wall. And down it goes. And all of a sudden, Mysterio's base is exposed. And Mysterio's army count is comprised of a few scorpions that he's building. He's got one already out. I'm not too sure what kind of a risk one scorpion is to how many cav archers. 15 cav archers and 3 scouts, rather. At the same time, though, it looks like Mysterio is attacking the north of Hera's base. It looks like he is plopping down a town center here. So again, because the center of this town center touches cracked terrain, it is now vulnerable to attack 20% more damage. I wonder how that would work if cracked terrain was on the high ground. So it takes more damage, but as the Georgian, it would take less damage. How all the numbers ultimately do shake up or shake out at the end. Hera starting to get villager kills here too. 3, 4 in total. And now he backs away, having lost not a single unit. Still 15 and 3 up here. Mysterio, on the other hand, has been completely shooed away from the north of Hera's base. Hera's army count is ridiculous. 28 to 7. But I mean, this is never going to go well for the cav archer, right? No, where'd the villager go? Get back here. Not that you really need to defend that much or repair that much. The pierce armor on a scorpion, a healthy 7 against the 8 attack. And again, it is a Georgian scorpion on the higher ground. But again, I really do wonder whether or not these scorpions are as big a deterrent as Mysterio thinks they are. Hera could just absolutely overwhelm him right now. 5 villager kills with this last farmer. Another scorpion up top dies. Mysterio's cav archers retreat into the middle of literally nowhere. And now Hera is expanding to the right side. Has he seen Mysterio's expansion on the left? No. Has Mysterio seen any of this? No. Mysterio hasn't even seen the stone on the right side of the map. Castle attempted. Castle denied. Oh, that's so sour. All of the idle time to bring the villagers all the way here. All of the idle time while they're constructing. Then all of the idle time while they're running away. Not to mention getting sniped as they run away. Hera might want to peel off a few of these and put them on the higher ground. 15 have become 29. Mysterio, have you caught wind of this at all? Not yet. But it looks like a few cav archers have been pushed back by the scorpions. Actually, not by the scorpions, I guess by the town center. 3 kills for the town center, 1 kill for the fortified church. And now the castle is back up. Hera is always so good at scouting. And of course, the reason he's sending this small band of cav archers is to make sure, hey, are you going to complete this castle now? Because if you are, I'm going to try to snipe a few of your villagers. How many people, when they retreat with the bulk of their army, would send a small little attack group just to snipe 1 or 2 more villagers. 9 villager kills to 1. And now Hera's down here as well. Gets another villager as he retreats. So much idle time for these villagers as they run around trying to get to safety. Oh, a couple of lumberjacks have been left behind. You did not hear the bell ringing. 2 more villagers added. It looks like actually 3 more villagers added, but Mr. Yo responds as well. His scout line units are now light cavalry units. One of them dies, but a good number of villager kills as well. He's added 3 more to his notches. Hera is now basically done with the damage, I think, that he can do. Scorpions on the left, castle on the right. Unless they dive into here and Mysterio's reaction time isn't the quickest, which may just happen, but now Manaspas are out. You know, there's not that many. What do we want to call the Manaspa? Is it a heavy cavalry unit or is it a medium cavalry unit? I've always wondered what the technical classification or what people's opinions are. Let me know in the comments below, because it's a little bit of a hybrid, right? It's not as heavy as a heavy cavalry unit. By the way, Hera is going to discover very quickly that this land cannot be built on. It is muy ocupado. Sees the castle. Still going. Okay, retreats. He cancels the town center immediately. So he doesn't even need to see the town center to know that Mysterio's already here. As the last of the rear-ending cav archers are dealt with, and now the forward cav archers are going to get dealt with as well. It definitely has the power of a heavy cavalry unit. It definitely has the armor of a heavy cavalry unit. What it doesn't have of a heavy cavalry unit is the HP and the speed. This is one of the few heavy-ish, let's say, heavy with an asterisk, cavalry units that can actually catch up to a cav archer and can actually zone out these cav archers. Very few cavalry units that are not scout line. So not, you know, light cav hussars, it's basically those two. I guess if you're playing in the Teutons, I guess scouts as well in Imperial Age. But very few units on a horse can zone out this fast-moving tide of death because of its ridiculous 1.54 tiles movement speed. The most heavy cavalry in this game, not including the Cumans, for example, but 99% of the heavy cavalry is 1.49 tiles per second. And now Mr. Yo is sending out bands of Manaspas. He's got 7. He needs to add 1 more. They have to be within a 15 tile radius, which explains why with forging, these guys just have a +1 attack and not +2. You need 7 in addition to the one that you have. In any event, to finish my thought that I was belaboring for the last half an hour, the Manaspa really is an interesting unit. It's a hybrid of many different types of units. And the speed in this case is what might be problematic for Hera. That being said, his army count is ridiculous. 33 cav archers. He's in Castle Age. He's got the gold for Imperial. Soon he'll have the food for Imperial. Mr. Yo does not have enough units to get the +1 attack. And even if he did right now with 3 of them dead, he would lose that +1 attack. I like that he's leaving the Scorpions at home. This is basically zoning Hera out entirely. Okay, look at these 2 guards hanging out here in the front of the base. The attack sound is reminds me of a pikeman or a halberdier. It's like that little tinkle tinkle sound. So Mr. Yo got a couple of spy goats here on the right side of the map. He's got a couple of Manaspas here, but Hera is already beginning a secondary wall off. This must be attached, right? Even though it doesn't look like it. Otherwise, Mr. Yo would not have pivoted his Manaspas to that side. Hera in firm control of the right quarry. Mr. Yo firm control of the left, and his villagers are working 10% faster right now because of this fortified church, which, by the way, has 2 relics inside, which means it does fire 2 arrows. But both players are heading up to Imperial. Looks like Hera will reach it first. He's down 21 villagers. Even though he's been absolutely slaughtering Mr. Yo's villagers, he just lost a whole bunch of monks, though. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. He is, in fact, the one who's down 20 villagers. How many Manaspas? 19 will give you a +2 attack. So these guys should be at a +3, yeah. Now, the interesting thing about the Manaspa is you need 7 other in a 15 tile radius, which is a pretty big freaking radius. 15 tiles in each directions is really, really large. Right? Because you have to include your unit. Oh, here we go. Mr. Yo, it used to be that these Manaspas could have taken down this town center in the blink of an eye. 684, 7, 500 is getting repaired. Oh, it looks like Hera's going to save it. But the Scorpions might get some juicy shots off here. These are very clumped Cav Archers. Oh, but the Scorpions are targeting the ones to the south instead of the ones to the middle. Okay, now we're getting better targeting. It looked very dicey there for Hera for a second. Then he flipped the script, and now it looks very dicey here for Mr. Yo, who loses a whole bunch of Manaspas, all 4 of his Scorpions, and he now still has 40 seconds until he still has 40 seconds until he hits the next stage. I'm really curious, Mr. Yo, why he only has 7 Manaspas. He needs 8. Hera, murder holes. Man, Hera has just been... He's just been after my heart. Who's kidding who with the murder holes upgrade? I absolutely adore when a pro player gets murder holes because it's so rare. But in any event, those Manasa has to get the hell out, and that's exactly what they do. He still has a band of 7. Mr. Yo doesn't realize, or he doesn't know, or doesn't care to know that. I don't know why he's only got 7. Here they've got 9. So these guys are going to have a +1 attack, conscription, elite Manaspa, plate barding armor. They're going to train faster. They're going to get hit harder, and they're going to be a lot tankier in a few seconds. Hera, he's going for chemistry. So he's roiding up his Cav Archers here. And like I said, the Manaspa is one of the few heavy-ish cavalry units that can zone out. The Cav Archer, another donkey card here. Another castle. So Mr. Yo's going to have 4 castles to the 4 of his opponent. But his opponent's not really training Mangadai at the moment. How many Manaspas are we working with here? 23. So that should give him a +3. And with Iron Casting adds 2, so +5. But you got to be careful, right? Because this is a unit that can actually get weaker as a battle goes on, as more of it gets killed, more units get killed. So for example, right now he's got 21, he's lost. So now he's going to be at a +4 instead of a +5, just because of losing 1 unit. So if you want to get the full benefit of the Manaspa, you really need 29. But if you want to be safe, definitely get a lot more than 29, because, you know, a few of them are going to die in the battle. And the last thing you want is your unit getting weaker and weaker as the battle continues, which the Manaspa, as powerful, as awesome as it is, I think it might be the only unit that gets weaker and weaker as the battle goes on. Maybe anything that fights an Obuch. But aside from that, Obuch's aside, as more of it die, it gets weaker. Man, these guys are just picking each other's villagers off. So many villagers dead. 30 minutes into the game, we've got almost 60 dead villagers. Oh, Hera inserts himself into a nook. 22 Manaspas, so +3 for free. And look at the chase. Man, can they just keep freaking going and going and going. But beautiful maneuvering out of Hera. He is pulling these Manaspas underneath a town center, underneath a castle. They are just dying where we had 22 a second ago. Now we're down to 14. And the castle is full of what? Cav Archers! Heavy. No, they're not. Whoa. Wait, Hera GG'd? After such a fun, brilliant maneuver here, keeping Mr. Yo running around, 22 become 10? Oh, there's something going on. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Mr. Yo pumps out 2 trebs, begins attacking the center right of the map. And like I said, if this was any other heavy cavalry archer, believe me, Hera would be putting on a display of micro, of kiting, of hitting and running, hitting it and quitting it. But because the Manaspa can close in so fast, I mean, how do you even engage into 2 trebs with cavalry archers at the moment with Manaspas to protect them? The second those cav archers move in, the Manaspas move forward to zone them out, and that's all. Now, Hera does have 420 stone, for all you April 20 people out there. But the villagers are very far away from here. There's only 1 who's nearby to repair. And by the way, the Manaspas, they're now elite. Look at their armor. This is what I'm talking about. The attack of a 20, the armor 8 and 6, but the HP is shite, and the movement speed is fast. So what the hell kind of unit is this? If it walks like a duck, but quacks like a chicken, Is it a duck or a chicken? I don't know. Heavy, medium, heavy-ish, hybrid. In any event, Hera gets zoned out here, despite, like I said, a brilliant little maneuver here to just keep these Manaspas chasing. And if it was, again, any other heavy cavalry unit, this count of 9 over here would probably be closer to a 4 or a 3. But instead, because they move, I believe, actually at the exact same speed. Yeah, 1.54 tiles per second. And the Manaspa regenerates HP. So the longevity for him is just off the charts for Mysterio, who is now ahead 33 villagers, and he's ahead 18 army count, and he's got Trebs shelling down Hera's castle. Hera's made no inroads into dislodging Mysterio here on the left side. So the picture is becoming a little bit clear, a little bit more data is being gathered as to why our Mongol GG'd. Plus 14 of his, basically half his army supply is in here. So he's about to absolutely get overwhelmed. These Manaspas, there's nothing to defend the villagers except the town center. And if you garrison them in the town center, you're not repairing the castle. You're also not gathering food. You're also not gathering stone or wood. And so Hera's economy is either going to take a pounding when it comes to lamed villagers, idle villagers, or he's just going to lose a bunch of villagers. And by the way, I don't 28 villagers, so they can all fit in here and in the castle. I was wondering what the numbers were like. Do we still have the spy goats? Yes, we do. They always look to me, the goats, to be like they just won a chess tournament. They have a big gold medal. That just shows you what kind of nerd I am. I didn't say like a swimming competition or a 100-meter dash. They won a chess competition, and so they have their little gold medal. What a fun game. I love these fast-paced action games. I mean, 31 minutes. Thank you, Empire Wars. More than 200 kills. Of that, it looks like 72 of those are villager kills. So a third of the kills are villagers. And ultimately, Mysterio has more villager kills, less military. But again, that's just because in the last couple of minutes, he's just been running around being attacked. But he opens a second front at the exact perfect moment. And Hera just cannot focus his kind of scarce resources, not the highest resource count in the world, on two fronts. And even though Mysterio, again, not again, but Mysterio doesn't exactly have the greatest resources. He's actually down in the trash resources. He does have a bit more gold, 32 villagers on gold and 17 on stone, which means a lot more castles, a lot more squeezing. And as we saw recently when you were playing against Cav Archers with the Viper, for example, as the Burgundians against El Matador the other day, a super powerful way to absolutely deny them any kind of damage or any kind of foothold in the game is to just plop down infrastructure. And Mysterio's got enough for another castle. And how much stone is left here? And okay, more stone for 3 more castles after that. Maybe even 4 if he buys a little bit. But let's take a look at the stats. 100 Manaspas to 74 Cav Archers, Scorpions to Scouts, Scouts to Monks. Mr. Yo, APM, half of Hera's. Interesting at the 26-minute mark, at the 16-minute mark for our Mongol. And yeah, all 4 resources, 11, let's say 10,500 more resources, even though Hera beating Mr. Yo in the Relic game is not very easy, but he did. A little bit, actually 1 castle's extra worth of stone. Gold is basically identical, 10,000 more food. So that's where the difference was. And the wood count is identical as well. Conversions 3-to-1, raisings 2-to-1. So not really playing any kind of serious role. And I guess Mysterio's strategy of carving off a bigger chunk than Hera here, who again just made a little bit of a hilltop enclave, which was pretty cool to see, but it's pretty small and constrained. And even though he expanded here, and now I did want to see one thing. How many donkey carts do we have? 8 donkey carts. How many, where are they? Lumber camps and mining camps. 8, lumber camps. Does he even have a single mining camp? Yeah, and there's a mining camp right there. And 3. So 8 donkey carts instead of 11 of the more traditional structure. So make of that what you will. Whether or not the Georgian feature with the mobile gathering points is better, worse. At the end of the day, it seems like they've spent similar amounts. Not the same, but obviously, but similar. But Mr. Yo zoning out the Cav Archers with his mobile army, zoning them out with his static defensive structures, and opening up a second front at the perfect time. Look at the damage that's being dealt with as the rock crashes into the side of that gorgeous Mongol castle, and Hera just does not have the capacity, the capability, the resources to respond to this, even though he does have 4 castles And I'm assuming a whole bunch of... no, only 3 archery ranges. Okay. Only 3 archery ranges and 4 castles is 7 units at a time maximum. And you're already facing an opponent who has 18 more army count than you. And so Hera realizes he cannot defend this location. He's about to get hammered here with his civilian population. Back home, he has killed a good amount of Manaspas, but they've also now discovered this castle, and you never know when a Treb is going to pop out of this one, in which case Hera's army count is completely insufficient to even take down a single Treb, let alone the army of Manaspas, the horde of Manaspas guarding it. And Hera realizes that he's just been outmaneuvered to the north, and to the south he's been zoned out. Taps out, lives to fight another day, and it is Mr. Yo who is victorious, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.